Hi guys, Wise Predictions here. As you know, we share sports betting tips and predictions powered by artificial intelligence. But predictions are predictions, and sports competitions might end with some unexpected results from time to time. But it appears to be the case that some soccer teams and leagues are more predictable than the others. And that's what we are going to be looking at today in this episode. Before getting into the details, let's go through an example so that let's remember again how our prediction mechanism is working. Assume that there's going to be a match that's going to be played between Manchester City and Brighton, and let the predictions be as the following. 81% for the victor of Manchester City, the chance of draw is given as 15%, and the chance of Brighton to win the match is given as 4% only, based on the output of our AI models. And since 81% is bigger than the other probabilities here, the expected winner of this match is Manchester City. One thing to remember is that the sum of these predictions here will always make 100%, meaning that if this 81% starts going down, the other probabilities will be going up. And obviously, they will go up based on the output of our models. So when making a decision to bet on a given match, you should be looking at the predictions, but also you should consider the odds. Let the odds be as the following for this match. If maybe the bookmaker is giving the odd 1.2 for the victor of Manchester City if they win the match. Some people think that this is way too low. Some other people think that it's quite safe so that they can go for it. It is obviously your decision to do that. But what I want to address here is that you should consider odds as well when making a selection, because it should make sense for you to bet on a match based on the prediction results, obviously. So let's continue, and let me give you some introductory information as well. So in the season so far, in the season of 2019 and 20, we had predictions for almost 5,000 soccer matches from 20 different European football leagues and for 365 teams in total. In this episode, as mentioned, we're going to be looking at which teams are more predictable and even profitable, obviously. And also, we're going to be looking at the question from an angle, and the question that we'll try to answer is what will be the result if one had made one coupon per match for all matches we had predictions for in the last year. So if we had predictions for 5,000 matches, it means here that if you make one coupon per match, then you will have 5,000 coupons in total. Whether it makes sense for you or not, it's a separate question, but this is the angle that we're going to be looking at the question from today. So if you want to answer this question, obviously we should analyze the question from two angles. If we take the home teams as reference, for which home teams our predictions held, or we had a higher accuracy. And in the second step, we're going to be looking at the question from the point of away teams. But first, let's analyze it from the point of home teams. Which teams are more predictable when they play a home match? Remember that our reference here is the profitability, and we analyzed it not only based on our prediction results, but also the given odds. And the top 20 happens to be as in this table here. If one had bet on the matches when Leyton Orient was playing a home match, and there were 15 such matches that we had predictions for in the season so far. And if you bet $1 per match, then you will spend $15 in total for the home matches of Leyton Orient. And the return of investment will be $33.22, giving a reasonable 121.5% profit. So it doesn't mean here that we think that the Leyton will be winning the match. Based on the prediction of our models, Leyton can be expected to lose the match, or the match of Leyton can be expected to end with a draw, or the Leighton actually, maybe is expected to lose the match. Whatever the prediction is, so the accuracy was high enough so that it would return a 121% profit for the matches of Leighton in the season from the EFL League Two in England. And the second team in this table is Partick from the Scottish Championship. And we had predictions for 9 matches for Partick in the season when they were playing a home match. And if one had made 9 coupons, 1 match per coupon, and say that you only spend $9 in total, $1 per coupon, then the return of investment will be $17.45, and the top will be almost 94%. I guess you get the point, and the list goes as following. These are the top 20 teams, and these teams are not necessarily coming from one single league. They're coming from Scottish Championship, EFL League Two, Scottish League One, EFL League Two again, and Scottish League One, Bundesliga, the second division of Bundesliga, Serie A Italy, League One France, and so on. But these are not the only teams actually that returned profit when they were playing home matches, sorry. And this is actually the entire list of teams who returned profits in the season. With other words, if you had bet on these teams when they were playing a home match throughout the season, the end result will be a profit at the end. And the most profitable home team happens to be Leyton Orient from EFL League Two, and even Barcelona here from La Liga Spain also seems to be profitable. One thing that is interesting here is that if you look at the red colored teams here, those teams actually happen to be the teams that are quite strong or perceived to be strong in their leagues. For example, Lyon is one of the most strongest teams in France in League One. Sporting Lisbon is one of the strongest teams in Portugal. Milan, they're not maybe going through their golden era right now, but they are still considered to be strong in Italy and a very respected team actually. And Liverpool and so on. But in the top, 20 teams here, Leicester from England is the only strong team actually. And many of these teams are not necessarily the favorites. With other words, the thing that I want to address here is that when people make coupons, generally people put more than one match in one single coupon, and they actually tend to put matches from, very strong teams like Barcelona or Real Madrid, Liverpool, Manchester City, and so on. But the thing is that for such very strong teams, the odds happen to be low, quite low. And the profits happen to be quite low as well, even if the coupon or the prediction holds in such cases. For example, look at Barcelona here, right at the end of the list. I can imagine that quite many people go for Barcelona in many matches. And if you want to make profit by betting on Barcelona, then the Barcelona needs to win consistently and quite many matches actually if you want to make a reasonable profit at the end. But from time to time, Barcelona loses some matches, or the matches actually can end with a draw as well, which in most of the cases, happens to be a quite unexpected result. So being a strong team is one thing, but being a profitable team from a betting point of view is a completely another thing. And when we look at our prediction results, so in the first table here, these are the most profitable and predictable teams so far. So in this table here, the total profit starts from 121%, and it ends at here, almost 57%. and throughout these tables here, the profit seems to go down, obviously. And you can also see here is that, if you're supporting any other strong team from any league actually in Europe, so you can see that maybe you don't see your strong favorite team in this table here, because again, strong teams generally tend to lose, from time to time. And since the given odds for such strong teams happen to be quite low, it becomes quite difficult to be profitable in the long run. So that you have to find the teams by doing your own analysis who are more predictable rather than being strong, because even strong teams lose from time to time. So that's why I say that you should be looking at predictions, which team is expected to win the match, but also you should be analyzing the odds as well, so that it should make sense when you bet on a given match. And this is obviously the point of home teams. So with other words, all these teams here, you see in these tables, you'll be, what will be the result if you were betting on these teams when they play a home match throughout the season. So what about the leagues and the number of predictable home teams per league from a profitability point of view? It happens to be the case that EFL League 2 has 14 teams that happen to be predictable and even profitable at the end of the season, almost at the end of the season. The season is not completely over yet in many European leagues so far, but at the end of the season, at the end of the day, so far in the season, EFL League 2 happens to be the league having the highest number of profitable and predictable teams so far. And at the end of this year, we see that the Scottish League 1 having 3 teams. And after EFL League 2, we have the English Championship having 13 teams, EFL League 1 having 12 teams, and League 1 France 10, and Primeira Liga Portugal 10, and Serie B 10 as well from Italy. So, what about the away teams? If we look at the picture from the point of away teams, which teams are more predictable when they play an away match? Again, remember that we are looking at this question or analyzing this issue here from the point of profitability, not only from the point of accuracy. And top 20 happens to be as in this table. Here are the away teams, here are the leagues they play in, and here are the number of matches that we had predictions for each team when they were playing an away match. And here is the return of investment. And at the top of the table here, we see Setúbal from Primeira Liga Portugal. We had predictions for 13 away matches for Setúbal so far this season. And if one had made one coupon for each match, and whatever the prediction is, either the Setúbal was expected to win, or draw was expected, or the home team was expected to win, whatever the prediction was, the return of investment happened to be $28.1 after investing $13. And it gives 116% profit at the end of the day. Bielefeld from second division of Bundesliga, we had predictions for 14 away matches for this team, and the return of investment happened to be $28.85 after investing $14 in total, and the profit happens to be 106%, and the numbers starts going down. And in the 20th place, we have the Macclesfield from EFL League 2, and we had 17 predictions so far for their away matches. And the return of investment happened to be 26.86 by giving a 58% profit. And this is not the entire table, obviously. This is the top 20, and this is the entire table here. What I find quite interesting is that the star of the European football so far in the season has been Liverpool. But if you look at the results of Liverpool here, if you had bet on Liverpool, based on our predictions so far at least, in the season, it will still be profitable, but the profit would only be 0.5% at the end of the day. This is yet another example where I want to address again that that a certain team is strong doesn't mean that you should be betting on that team. I can imagine that the winning percentage of Liverpool has been, quite high in the season, even when they were playing an away match. But apparently, the odds were quite low, so that as soon as Liverpool lost the match or the match ended with a draw, assuming that Liverpool was expected to win the match, so you lost your money, obviously, and the potential profit you made, wasn't really that high because the odds for the victory of Liverpool remained quite low throughout the season because they were expected to win the match, again and again and again because they were having a fantastic season in the big picture. But if we look at the teams here, and the most profitable ones, obviously, they are not necessarily the ones, who are expected to win all their matches. In many cases for Setúbal, for example, maybe they were expected to lose the match, or the match maybe was expected to end with a draw, and so on. But from a profitability point of view, Setúbal was the team to go for this season when they were playing away teams, obviously based on the predictions that we have at viceprediction.com. And if we look at the number of predictable away teams per league, obviously from a profitability point of view, English Championship happens to be the one which has the highest number of predictable home teams or away teams so far. There's a typo here. So English Championship has 14 teams, EFL League 2 has 12 teams, and the second division of Bundesliga has 11 teams. La Liga 2, 11 teams again, and Serie A, 11 teams as well for the away teams. Excuse me for the typo here. This is going to be away teams, not the home teams. So that's all. I hope that this presentation gave you a different insight for our predictions so far. In case you want to know more details about our prediction mechanism and you want to see our upcoming predictions for the upcoming matches, obviously, please don't hesitate to visit viceprediction.com. And if you want to be notified for our new episodes and analysis, feel free to like and subscribe our channel as well. Thanks for listening and see you next time.